Hello and greetings, fellow StarCrafters. PGL Milcraft here with a 1 versus 1 between the players EGPuma, the blue Terran down here in the bottom right corner, and the red Terran player Nada, oGsNada actually, up here in the upper left corner. This is another game from MLG Raleigh, but I really wanted to record this game for a couple of reasons, which I'll talk about real quick. Oh, the map is Shakuras Plateau, by the way, and yeah, very large, very macro-oriented map, so we should see some very interesting games here. But I wanted to cast this game for a number of reasons. The first is I'm a really big Nada fan, and I don't think I've casted him kind of a while, and I think this is the most recent game that I could actually find Nada playing it. It is not on the most recent patch, however, the only change for Terran on the most recent patch was, I believe, the Seeker missile timing, and the barracks increase of build time. Neither of those are going to really matter in a Terran versus Terran, so that's not really going to change much. Oh, and the Blue Flame upgrade. I totally forgot about that. So, Blue Flame is going to be a little bit more powerful here than it is under the current ladder. But Blue Flame in general is still pretty good. It's just a little bit less devastating in terms of harassment against workers, as it now only kills workers in 3 hits instead of 2. The other reason I want to cast this is because it's a Terran versus Terran, and to me, Terran versus Terran is the most interesting matchup, especially in these situations, as you can see that they're both going Refinery first right now, which if both players go Refinery first, it's going to be incredibly exciting because, like, you can see things like, you know, two Blue Flame dropships pass each other, and then they're just both like, oh, and then they have to, like, lift their bases, they have to move their SCVs, all the SCVs die, stuff like that. All sorts of crazy things could happen if they both cast first. But Terran versus Terran, first of all, is all about position, and I think position is incredibly important no matter where you're battling, like no matter what forces you have. Position is always incredibly important, but in Terran versus Terran it's magnified because of the power of siege tanks, unless of course both players go bio, which very well could happen. It is certainly an option, although I would argue less powerful of an option. And Terran versus Terran has like really cool tech transitions. So players will go from, for example, they'll start with maybe Blue Flame Hellion drop, they'll move into Marine Tank possibly, or maybe just Mech, and then they'll transition to Viking Battlecruiser and Raven. And there were some really exciting matches between, what was that? I think it was MVP and... I'm totally blanking. It was another Terran in the GSL where they just like both transitioned at the exact same time in the exact same way. And I would say it's the only matchup where literally every single unit is a viable unit to get and can be very effective. I'm trying to think if there's any other unit. No, every single unit is incredibly important. Or, well, not incredibly important, but every single unit is certainly an option. Both players are getting factories now. We see they have entirely mirrored builds at this point. Neither player is going for a dangerous fast expand, as we did both see that they got the Refinery first. Looks like we see a starport going down for Nada. Well, meanwhile, it looks like Puma is actually going to be opting for Blue Flame. You can tell because he's getting a tech lab and opting not to get the starport, at least quite about yet. So I would say most likely we're going to see a Banshee from Nada, and since Nada has not gotten that second gas, which if he doesn't get this within the next couple of seconds, then he's going to be going for a gasless, or not a gasless, a cloakless Banshee, which it looks like that's exactly what he's going to be doing. So my guess is he's just going to get one Banshee, then he'll get a Viking, and then he will harass with the Banshee. Ooh, what did that SCV see? SCV did not quite see enough there to really give too much away about this build, but he's going to get one Banshee most likely, and then he's going to expand underneath it and transition out of that. Looks like that SCV is not going to give very much information either. Very nice job from Puma. He moved the Hellion out of vision so that the SCV would not be able to see it. He wanted to make sure that he would not suspect Blue Flame Hellions, as if you see Hellions in a Terran versus Terran, you can generally expect it to be Blue Flame Hellions. Actually, interestingly enough, Puma has not opted for a Blue Flame Hellion drop, so it looks like he's probably just going to be poking in with Marines and Hellions here, which I'm not sure if he's going to wait for Blue Flame to finish. I'm not sure how effective this is going to be. There are 6 Marines already for Nada. Nada has them very well spread right here, so that if Hellions are firing, unless Puma gets smart, spots with the Marine, and then shoots this way, you can only hit one Marine at a time, which is how Hellions do their most damage. So it looks like he's going to poke in with 2 Hellions and 4 Marines. This is probably going to give away the fact that he's going for a very strong Hellion build, and probably a Blue Flame Hellion build to Nada, simply because if you're doing this kind of Hellion poke, it's normally a little bit earlier, and it's normally with only 1 Hellion. Looks like those Hellions are actually just going to be a little bit too late, as they now just got Blue Flame. So able to fry those Marines on the left side, but all of the Marines are now dead, and since Hellions take forever to be able to get through a supply depot, I doubt that he's going to be able to do too much more damage. Looks like he is going to keep attacking just to kill a couple of additional Marines, set a tree on fire. Smokey's going to be quite upset about that, as only Puma can prevent forest fires. Meanwhile, the Banshee is doing a decent amount of damage. It is now up to 9 kills. Oh my god, and it stopped the building of the starport, which would be able to finish the Viking under normal circumstances. That starport's going to be very difficult to finish as long as Nada controls this very well. And oh my god, this Banshee might just win the game. Their engineering bay is not even complete for EGPuma at this point, and he does not have enough Marines. He only has 2 Marines as he was opting for that reactor on his barracks right there. Oh wow, I can't believe he actually did not get enough of a defense for a Banshee. This is completely standard in Terran versus Terran to be able to get this Banshee. Sometimes it's a little delayed because it's a cloaked Banshee, but that would only be harder to deal with, and Puma's just going to have to GG out of this game. So he goes for a Blue Flame Hellion Harass, but his starport is just a little bit too delayed. He opted to get, I think it was a later second gas, which means he didn't have the gas to get the starport as soon as he would be able to in order to be able to drop into the base and to be able to get a Viking to protect against this Banshee. So this single cloakless Banshee has 25 kills. She is now commander, my mistake. And wow, that was really effective actually. It shows you how important it is to be able to get turrets up, get an engineering bay up, especially if you're going something like a factory heavy build or something like that, and you don't have a starport, so you can't get Vikings, and you don't have multiple barracks to be able to get Marines out. Because Banshees will just kill you, and it's very easy for Banshees to kite Marines anyway. So it looks like Puma did fall in game number 1, so we'll be moving on to game number 2. This is a best of 5, by the way, to be on the video description, so it won't be a mystery to you by the time you hear me saying this, but anyway, I'll say it again. It is a best of 5, and this is PGO Milcraft signing off.